Welcome to Intersec Pulse, part of Intersec Global and powered by Security Middle East magazine. I'm here in the studio and delighted to be joined by an esteemed security professional, John Cowling, who's working in the region with Caterpillar as their district security manager for the Middle East and CIS. John, thank you very much for joining us here.
And thanks, Ryan. It's a pleasure.
I think let's get stuck into the current state of play in the region. Intersec Global brings together an international audience. We're looking at trends, we're looking at technologies, we're looking at the landscape. In your opinion and in your experience, what are the most prevalent trends that we're seeing in security right now?
So certainly based here in Dubai and looking at the regional outlook, people often sort of don't take into consideration the geopolitics of the world. And certainly what's happening with the US administration and Europe and Russia and Ukraine and China and parts of Africa all play into what's happening here in this region and particularly the GCC countries. So we are looking at the side effects on what's happening, whether it be around travel, whether it be around procurement and supply chains. And then the other challenges that we look at apart from the geopolitics are things like emerging technologies. So whether it be drones, whether it be AI, and how this is going to affect the organizations that we work with. So how does the impact and the future long-term views on some of these trends, how is that going to affect the way we operate? So these are all things that we're mindful of, and particularly around the travel security side of it. You know, where can we send people and how do we do it safely and so forth. So these are all things that we are constantly looking at and evolving and re-looking at and developing.
Fantastic. I mean, you touched upon technologies there like drones and AI. AI really is one of the hottest topics on the planet right now, not just in security, but across so many different sectors. How do you see AI shaping security over the next, let's say, 5 to 10 years?
So I think the first thing that worries a lot of people in AI, or about AI, I should say, is the unknown. We hear lots of talk about job losses or job changes and reorganizing industries, but we're still in this situation where we hear a lot of conflicting views from some of the experts in AI as to how it's going to not just impact us, but what opportunities are there to exploit and what things should we be worried about. And some of the concerns that we've seen already is around misinformation and around some of the controversies that have been in the news about image manipulation online and so forth. Now, I think this is the tip of the iceberg. Things that we don't know, and it's sort of that classic case of known knowns and unknown knowns and so forth. So I think that's some of the big worries. And then, of course, looking at the way the conflict in Ukraine, Russia has completely changed with the use of drones, has been a real big eye-opener for the industry in terms of if that's happened this year, what's going to happen in 2 or 3 years' time? What do we have to worry about? So it's been a bit of a wake-up call for a lot of people, certainly in the security industry and the broader sort of surrounding concerns about how do I stay up to date? How do I stay current? So events like the Intersec exhibition and conference are excellent for that, for going out there and seeing what is coming next that we may or may not have to worry about.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And how do you think organizations and security professionals can work to mitigate these kind of unknown risks that you mentioned?
So I think one of the most important areas there, which is becoming a bit of a lost art, is reading and staying up to date with all the information that's out there. And that's a bit of a double-edged sword because often there's too much information, so it's how do I sort it out? I'm the chapter chair of the ASIS Dubai Chapter, and that's one way of sort of connecting to peers and understanding about if this affects us, who can I ring and say, does this affect you? Does this worry you? So having this broad network has sort of become, over the last 10 years, even more important than it used to be, is having this network of who can I reach out to and ask questions and share concerns and try and work out solutions that benefit everybody.
I mean, you mentioned there you're the Dubai Chapter Chair at ASIS. How does Intersec Global fit into this community? What capabilities does it give you and your colleagues and your network by having events like this?
So events like this are incredibly important for all security professionals, and in particular ASIS members, because it gives us, in some cases, a VIP access or access to exhibitors and sponsors that perhaps we wouldn't have met before. So being part of the Messe Frankfurt's Intersec is incredibly important for the chapter, because we get to meet industry professionals at a trusted level, and that trusted level is super important. So when these questions come up, I'm not just asking a vendor in the marketplace who wants to sell me something. No, I'm asking someone who I've built a relationship with over time. And whether I've purchased from them or not in the past is irrelevant. We have this trusted relationship to say, what is this technology that's coming out? Or what are these products and services that are available? What's the benefit, whether it be educational elements or practical? But how can we better use this technology and the products and services to actually add value to the organizations that we serve?
I mean, it really does create a fantastic environment for people like yourself, John, and your colleagues to come and understand the latest technology and trends and know exactly how they can be implemented in your day-to-day work life and for the organizations that you're working with as well.
Look, absolutely. And I'm very fortunate enough to be based here in Dubai. So this is in my backyard, this exhibition and conference. And a lot of, I guess, of the members that we had at today's meeting, which Messe Frankfurt and Intersec very lovely provided some meeting space for us. We had members from the US and Singapore and the Philippines and the Czech Republic and a host of other countries that all come here to learn about what's the latest and the best. So being based here in Dubai, I'm very fortunate enough to be able to come here every year and walk around and talk to vendors and understand what are some of the solutions to our challenges.
Definitely. Well, John, it's been really fantastic to have you here in the studio and get your insights on the latest trends and risks and technologies. And like you say, Intersec Global is here in your backyard, so I'm sure that we will be seeing you at future events. But thanks again for taking the time to be here in the studio.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you very much.